We're about to take it back.
You are now tuned in to Atlanta's hottest radio show, K.L.P. Aftermath.
We shut it down in the studio.
You're rocking with the best.
Oh, this is Ludacris.
What's going on? This is Drake.
It's Tiger Young Money Zone.
It's your boy Wiz Khalifa, man.
This is Big Sean.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is Kanye West.
This Jay-Z. Yo, this is your boy Weezy.
With your host, Kennedy Lucas. On Swanky 93.3 radio station. The Heat 94.6 E radio station.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another exciting podcast. Of course, this is the K.L.P. Aftermath Season 4. I'm your host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas. Of course, back, feeling better. Ooh, look at the gains right now, T. Of course, I'm looking at myself in the mirror, and I'm looking at the muscles there. I did go to the gym yesterday, guys. Of course, back, healthy, feeling good, T. We've got Tyrus Lester, he's here. Monica's here. Of course, we got Addison and Arthur over there. We see y'all here. Welcome back to another exciting podcast today. K.L.P. Aftermath with your host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas. Feeling a little bit better today. If you guys missed it for yesterday's or this past week's episode, we just did the Beyond the Swanky podcast. We just did the Beyond Swanky podcast this week. Of course, you guys, last week I've been under the weather. That's why you probably haven't seen me doing podcasts inside of the studio in front of the camera for you guys because we've been sick. But feeling a little bit better, much better. And I was feeling good enough to come in front of the camera for you guys as well. So welcome to another exciting podcast, K.L.P. Aftermath. Season 4, we're almost done with Season 4, y'all. Believe it or not, Season 4 is almost done. Of course, January, we did get renewed, and we will be back for Season 5 of K.L.P. Aftermath, of course, live from our studios here. So I'm excited. I'm very, very excited, to say the least, because, we've been doing podcasting for, quite some time now. And, we keep the show going. We try to keep the show as entertaining as much as we can for y'all. So I'm excited. I'm excited to be back here today. Today's a good one, right? We're going to go ahead and get the KLP Entertainment news, the Kennedy Lucas Films news on out the way for you guys, simply because, we did get some exciting news. Of course, if you guys don't know, there's this film that I made in 2019. Gosh, man, that film was so much fun. I remember T was a part of it. And we made it in 2019, and it was a film that, we wanted to do. And, we wanted to do it for the longest time. We had it out for a sec, and then Amazon Prime picked us back up. It's called Skipper and Copper Saves the World. I'm starring in that film. It's an animated film. I'm playing some crazy charismatic characters, Skipper and Copper, along with this character Crunk and Dr. Serbane. And we were doing some Bobo. I'm playing Bobo, so I'm playing a lot of these characters in this movie. Of course, late January was when this film will be released for Amazon Prime. Again, I am so ecstatic. I'm so happy. I'm so thankful for not only for Amazon Prime Video, because they've been helping us out distributing our films. Of course, you can watch 2 of my films, Street Style of New York Culture and Heartline Second Term. Those shows or movies are available right now for Prime. But, we're back, and we have our 3rd movie coming to Prime late January of next year. So it's going to be a great year of filming, right? It's a great year. I just came from my brother's house. I had to step over there, and we talked about our plans for New York. Again, if you guys missed it, of course, in February, we're going to be filming Street Style Homecoming, and in February. So it's a good year of filming. It's a good year of filming a lot of great content. So I'm excited. I'm thankful. I thank everybody who's been watching all of our content, because, the content you guys have been watching, and you guys have been enjoying the content for sure. So I'm blessed. I'm highly favored. I'm thankful for all our friends group, our fan group, our family group, everybody who's been paying attention, who's been watching our stuff. So again, from all of us here at K.L.P. Entertainment, thank you so much. Now, we have quite a bit of some reviews we got to do today. Of course, like I say, we got T in the building. Monica, she's here. Addison, Arthur, they're both here, getting ready to give us our news for today's episode, Monday, a couple days before Christmas break. You guys, if you haven't done your Christmas shopping quite just yet, please go do your Christmas shopping, because there's a lot of things out there that's going on a good price. But Amazon, they getting a little backed up, right? They're getting a little backed up when it came down to it. There's a lot of things that people are ordering and they won't get into after Christmas. So again, if you haven't done your Christmas shopping quite just yet, go ahead and do your Christmas shopping now, because it's only going to get busy. And when Christmas comes back around, some things are shutting down. So again, if you haven't done your Christmas shopping, go and do it. Not a sponsor officially from Amazon e-commerce, but I'm just saying, because I've done my Christmas shopping, some things I wanted to shop for my squad. Like I said, we're doing a Christmas exchange this year. I've got all the gifts that I bought for my friends for the exchange, got them wrapped up in the house, and they're looking nice and ready to be given out. This is my favorite part. This is my favorite time of the season, because it's not always about the presents, but typically on this holiday season we tend to get together, friend groups rather. We get together, we celebrate, and we do a lot of things, right? Of course, last night, I want to say, well, it was Saturday actually. Saturday night, we went out to dinner, and this is kind of a full review of this restaurant called Truva in Atlanta. So if you guys don't know, our shows, we're here, headquarters here in Atlanta, Georgia, if you guys didn't know that by now. And of course, we went to Truva last night to go and have a great dinner. Shout out to Mutzi again. Happy birthday. I know this is a couple of days later now, but I'm always going to wish happy birthday. Went out and celebrated her birthday. But I need to talk about the restaurant, because I've never seen the level of service that I saw at Truva Saturday night. Of course, very, very fantastic. And this is I got a funny story for you guys too, at the end of this restaurant review. But we're walking in there. The scenery was great. The restaurant was amazing. Our waiter, man, she was cute. I ain't gonna lie to you. Our waiter was cute. Very, very cute waiter. She's very attentive. She's working. She's doing her thing. She's very attentive. Of course, the bread they had in there, oh my God, the bread, and they had this dry. It wasn't. It was like it wasn't dry. It was like a wet tomato marinara sauce, kind of, if you will, Turkish style. So what you do is, with any breadstick, you dip your bread in marinara. So they had that. The bread was fantastic. I had so much of the bread because I came in there, and there was a whole squad of us. Of course, it was Mutzi, her birthday girl was there. Boyfriend Phil. We had Solik and Karen. They were there. Connor, David, Brenda, and a new friend, Gerald. He was there as well. So it was 10 of us. It was 10 of us. We're having a good time. We're eating the bread, and the bread was just so addictive, because how the way they made the bread, y'all, I kid you guys not. This bread was fantastic. It was not too hard, not too soft. It was just right. It was baked just right. And this is what a lot of restaurants do, Monica. This is what they do, because me and you, we've been on quite a few dates where they bring out breadsticks and then they make it addictive for you to eat it, so you get full quicker, right? So then you go in for the meal, and then it's just a level of service there. So that bread was fantastic. Very, very fantastic. As we're munching and I'm eating, I'm ordering a Coke. I was telling people, hey, please excuse me, because that day I did work out. And typically, for a lot of people who work out, it's not me just trying to show off my muscles here on the camera on the show today, but when you work out heavily, you get tremendously hungry, right? I'm the guy now where I'm packing muscle. I eat like a monster. If you guys don't know about The Rock, shout out to The Rock, because we're going to talk about Black Adam today on today's show. But The Rock does it too, where he's intensely working out. He's clanging and banging, but then he's eating like a monster. He probably shits like one too, not in a bad way, but to my point, when you work out a lot, you eat a lot. So I'm eating, and I'm telling my friend, hey, like, please, I'm eating because I'm hungry. I am starving. So I'm eating, and there was a lot of people that was there Saturday night. A lot of people were there for birthdays. Another group was there for a birthday. We saw one person filming somebody. an interview, and the camera looked very, very nice. So I turned around, and it's camera crew, and they're interviewing some people. So they might have been doing a review of the restaurant. I don't know, but very, very fantastic. We ordered some drinks, and my meal that came down to it, of course, it was the chicken hadana. It was the chicken hadana, where it was kind of like a chicken kebab, if you will. It was like a nice little slate of chicken and Turkish style rice and some salad. I ate it, right? I took my time and eat, but I ate it. And I was the first person done with my meal because, again, mind you guys, I work out. I was hungry. So that restaurant was very attentive. They have waiters, people walking around picking up trash from your table. That was like the level of service that I haven't seen from a restaurant in a very, very long time. I've never seen that level of restaurant service to where somebody who, I don't want to use the term bus boy or bus girl, because that's kind of a rude term, but there was a woman working. She works there, and she's looking around. She's picking up dishes that we're not using, trash that are on the table. She's picking that up as we're eating, so that way it keeps the table clean. I like that. That level of service was fantastic. I've been to restaurants, and there's a lot of restaurants that don't have that great level of service that Truva had Saturday night. It's very, very, very fantastic. The pricing was right. Every meal was proportionate, right? They didn't give you too little. They didn't give you too much, right? It was really, really scrumptious. I genuinely enjoy it. The chicken was tendered. The chicken was seasoned very, very nicely. The turkey rice, let me tell you, because I cook rice, you know, I chef it up in the kitchen. Monica, you know, I chef it up in the kitchen. But I've tasted rice like it was like the most amazing things that I have since sliced bread, because how the way they cook that rice, now it kind of tastes like, they on the description it was Turkish rice. It kind of looked like, it tastes like jasmine rice to me, but with a little bit of spice. But besides the point, they cook the rice really, really well. I genuinely, and I gotta say, I genuinely enjoy the meal that I've had. The Coca-Cola, Coke, the bread, the calamari, that was an appetizer we had. All of it was very, very scrumptious. And of course, we had birthday cake as well to celebrate the special occasion on my friend Mutsie's birthday, of course. So I recommend, guys, if you are living in Atlanta, go to the restaurant because it is fantastic, right? I'm going to say, though, be careful where you park. Yes, I'm having a good time. I'm feeling good. I'm full. We're taking pictures. We're leaving. And soon as I was leaving, I got 2 damn boots on my vehicle. I did. So be careful where you park, guys. Make sure, if you're in downtown Atlanta, make sure you pay for parking or find out the parking was free. Because where I parked, I didn't see no sign of this parking spaces needed to be paid for you to park. I didn't see a sign nowhere. So I'm walking in, we're having our event. I come down, there's 2 ugly yellow boots on my car. Of course, I paid and they removed the boot. Of course, obviously, because I'm here on today's show and I drove here to the studio. But just there was a moral of the story. I was not paying attention, and the guy, the technician that took the boot off, I was asking him, like, okay, so yes, where do we pay? Because I didn't see anything pay for parking. He showed me a sign where it was like, yo, pay for parking. So I was like, well, damn, okay, well, I was rushing in the restaurant. I wasn't paying attention, really. So this was kind of my fault. But I was upset. Of course, the ticket was $75 per day. So, of course, I had to pay $75 for the technician to come out and take those 2 boots out of my car. So, again, it was one of those things that, hey, it happens, right? I was pissed because my friend Karen and Solly, they were about to leave, and I walked up and I said, hey, I got a boot in my car. And they was like, you want us to stay with you? Like, yeah, let me just, because I got to figure this out real quick. Luckily, again, I thank God it wasn't $200 that I had to pay. It was $75. And it was in downtown Atlanta, right? Now, if you're like, let's say if you're like in New York, yeah, you're looking at $200, and you might be looking at that sitting there for a day, right? Couldn't do that. So luckily they had a guy that was down the street. He came down and he works for the company that do boots and stuff. It's such a I get why they do it because that's the government type of thing, but it sucks to do that kind of job because you really piss somebody off, right? When they just genuinely park because they had to get somewhere. They genuinely park just to get somewhere, and then like you put a boot on there, and now there's extra money that they had to cough up. So I was very upset about it at first. Am I upset about it today? Nah, it's over. It's in the past now. But Shrew will go to the restaurant, fantastic restaurant, but please be careful where you park, simply because there's a lot of people that put boots on cars. So you got to be very, very careful for sure, guys. Yeah, so you best believe I was upset. So again, Truva, fantastic restaurant though. It was scrumptious. That's a great date spot. Now, if you want to take your guys, if you want to take your ladies out, ladies, if you want to take your man out, or ladies, if you want to take your girls out, and guys, you want to take your guys out, Truva is a good date spot. It's very fantastic. Now, you're going to spend some money. It's not super expensive, but it's not like McDonald's, right? You're going to spend some money on that, but it's fantastic. I enjoy every minute of that restaurant for sure. Now, coming up next, we've got to do our I do have a show and a movie review. So excited for this one because there's two shows, well, a show and a movie that I've seen in the last couple days. And I knew I wanted to be in front of a camera, in front of the studio, in front of a camera to do these reviews for you guys. Because honestly, I miss doing the podcast on the video side of things. I know I kind of, again, like I'm always going to state for this show. Last week, we didn't do no media coverage on camera because I've been sick. And I just wasn't feeling well. The weather and the weather got to me last week. So feeling good today, so it's appropriate that I do a review. Of course, I'm talking about Sonic Prime and Black Adam. So we're going to get to Sonic Prime first because I genuinely think Sega and Netflix, they have something, right? I know there's probably reviews for Sonic Prime already out. I finished the last episode yesterday, and I gotta say, Sega has something, right? It's not terrible. It's not. I think it's funny. I think the new voice actors to play all these characters are great. I'm not really a fan of the voice actor of Knuckles. He sounds kind of like he's not trying hard enough, in my opinion. But honestly, everybody else is trying very, very hard. Now, if you guys don't know, Sonic Prime is this new show that's available for Netflix. Sonic and friends. So you got Sonic, Tails, Amy, and Rouge, and Big the Cat. They're fending off Dr. Eggman. Dr. Eggman finds this shattered shard that crosses dimensions and go to different universes. Of course, Sonic doesn't listen to Tails about how dangerous this shard is. He's hitting the shard, and their universe somehow gets altered, and he's meeting the same characters, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Rouge, Big, but in different dimensions of themselves, the different universes, right? Let me tell you why this works, right? Because a lot of shows now, they're dabbling in universe, right? Crossing the multiverse. We saw the Spider-Man trailer a couple days ago. They're getting ready for that stuff, right? A lot of Marvel's gung-ho about it, and now a lot of other film projects, they're having some relation of either time travel or going through different universes and different dimensions. So it's appropriate. The timing is right for it. This show is fantastic. The animation style is gorgeous, I gotta say. It's beautiful. It's very, very beautiful. When I first saw the first trailer, I thought, this show might look a little clunky, right? After watching the series, they did something here that's very, very special. I am glad, because I know in Netflix, they don't really do this as much. I know HBO does it, where when it is kind of an ongoing series, we have to wait weekly for different episodes, right? So now for Sonic Prime, I want to say this is season 1 for them. You can see all 8 episodes in one go. So I binge watched all 8 episodes yesterday because I need to do a review for you guys. But this show is very interesting, right? The different animated styles, the different charismatic style of these characters is fantastic. I really do like the voice actors when it comes down to it. As we get our notes here, list of voice actors here for sure. this is a series that I wouldn't sleep on. I really would not sleep on it, of course. Now, I've got the list here. D Mac Jr. plays Sonic. Yes, so Devin Christian Mack, he's playing Sonic and Sonic Prime, and I gotta say, my brother is black. I love it. I'm here for that. I'm so here for that. It's good, right? Because now D Mac Jr., I'm just gonna call him D Mac Jr. He's following the lights of what's his name? Steve Urkel, Jaleel White, Steve Urkel, right? He's following kind of in that footstep, so I'm here for that. Of course, you got Brian Dramont play Dr. Eggman, Ashley Bell to play Tails, Rouge is played by Kazumi Evans, of course, Dr. Ngwangwa, Vincent Tong, I don't remember, Shannon Kent to play Amy Rose, and Ian Helen to play Shadow, and then you got Adam Naranda to play Knuckles. I think Adam Naranda, this is just a critic, right? Because he's on we're on Prime, they're on Netflix, right? We're all big in this world, but I think he needs a little bit more work with Knuckles. I think Knuckles, it just sounds a little dry, in my opinion. It just, all these characters have their own swank to their characters, but I just kind of feel like Knuckles doesn't have. I know they're trying to pin Knuckles to be like this tough guy, but like he sounds a little dry to me. I enjoy this. I really do enjoy this. Honestly, they made their careers by doing this, because this is huge. This is not something that you sleep on. It is a show that is fantastic, in my opinion. Of course, the fate of the strange new universe rests in the glove hands of a speedy blue Sonic the Hedgehog. And I gotta say, IBM gave this a 7.6 out of 10. That's not bad, right? It's not fantastic. Like, if you didn't get perfect 10, then, 7.6 out of 10, that's a C. And that's not bad. A lot of people did sleep on this when the trailer came out, but a lot of people are having some good reviews about this show. I really do hope they keep it up. I really do hope they introduce more of the characters. That's the only gripe when I have with not only Sega, not trying to cross the companies, but Sega, well, every game company, they don't use all their IPs, right? It's good to see Rouge in this, right? I'm glad that they're using Big the Cat, right? I'm glad that they're using characters that you just haven't seen in a while. They're using their IP. I want them to continue to use their IP. I want them to introduce Team Chaotix. That's one of my favorite Sonic characters, is Team Chaotix. I want them to be back into the light of things. It would be cool if you had the Babylonians come in this series one time, right? I want Sega and Netflix, I want them to use all their characters. And Netflix, if you need a voice work for a character, hook me up. My name is Kennedy Lucas. I would love to be a voice actor in this show, because I want to see more IPs in this show. That's what I want to see. So only time can tell for sure. All 8 episodes are available right now on Netflix. I enjoyed the story. The story makes sense. Sonic is in despair. Sonic gets beat up a lot in this series, right? One thing I don't like about well, Sonic's getting beat up. That's never good. But I like how actiony, I don't even know if that's a word, Monica, but I like how actiony this show is, right? Because Sonic and friends, they're kicking ass in the show, right? That's what we want. I'm here for it. Every episode, they're either getting beat the snot out of, or they're kicking ass, right? I love that. That is so fantastic for them to have that, where they're kicking butt and looking good doing it. The animation style looks fantastic while you're watching it. How the way Sonic goes top speeds and have the infinity, like his feet in the infinity symbol, that looks fantastic for what it is, for an animated. I'm glad that they're using that more. The story makes sense, right? The story does make sense. Would I like to see a Sonic Prime video game? Sure, definitely. Maybe they can do a Sonic Prime and make an open world like Sonic Frontiers, because Sonic Frontiers was such a huge success, right? They have something now where Sonic Prime is a hit. 7.6 for IMDb. That's a good score to me. Your hit with your series. The video game Sonic Frontiers was a hit, right? Sonic 3 that comes out want to say next year, guys. Next year, that's going to be a hit because Shadow's going to be in that. That has to be a slam dunk hit. So they have good stuff now. And that's, for us fan base, I get really, really excited about, is now Sega's picking it up. Sonic is picking it up now versus the last couple of years where we have to sleep over it and say, oh, okay, that's Sonic. It's not going to be good, right? This show outbeat Sonic Boom, right? That, excuse my French, guys, but that clusterfuck of a show there, Sonic Boom for Cartoon Network, that show, Sonic Prime, yes. That's exactly what we want. Exactly. I want them to continue it. I hope they don't mess this up. I hope they don't get canceled, because right now Netflix is canceling a lot of shows, right? And hey, that's just business. I want this show to go far. It's I want to say, as of today's recording, it might have changed, but as I know from today's recording, it's number 3 on Netflix, right? So it's doing really, really good. I want to see more of it. I want to see them continue it. But like I stated, I do want to see more IPs from this. I want to see more characters, because there's a whole laundry list of characters that are in the Sonic universe they just haven't used in a very, very long time. Babylonians, they haven't used them in a very, very long time. And I'm not talking about Babylonians going to the Olympic Games and whatnot. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about full voice work, full animation when it comes to the Babylonians. I know it costs, right? Animation costs. I know, I make animation movies too. Skipper and Carver, that cost. It costs to make animation, but Sega has it, and I want them to continue to use their IP. That's what I want to see. But like I say, Sonic Prime, huge success. Congratulations to everybody who's working on Sonic Prime, the producers, the voice actors, directors, animators, editors. I want to say key grippers, but I mean, it's an animation, so it's not really. But the drawing animation, the rendering, everybody who's working on Sonic Prime, congratulations. I think this is a hit. I want to see more. I want to see many seasons. I want to see more characters. I want to see the story. Basically, want to see with the story. Story is great. I want to see them relate a lot to the Archie comics, right? I read a lot of the Archie comics, Sonic comic books. I do. Those stories are fantastic. I want to see them relate a lot from the Archie comics into Sonic Prime. And for the video games too. I don't want people creating random stories and it don't make sense, and then you put it on paper and then you produce it and it's crap, and then now it's not good. I want to see, because it's the formula, right? Marvel's been doing this for years, 20 years, I want to say now. You know, Marvel's been, hey, let's look at the comics. Let's make this based off the comics. DC, they're kind of catching up on that a little bit more better. So Sonic Prime, shout out to them. Again, Netflix, Sega, if y'all need a voice actor, I will send over my voice resume, because I would love to voice, if that's what it takes to get more characters into Sonic Prime. That's what I want to see. Now, I mentioned DC, and this is a movie that I knew I was going to wait until it came to HBO for me to see it. Not a sponsor. Again, HBO, if you do want to sponsor me, go ahead. But Black Adam, it's available right now on HBO Max if you have that subscription. Starring, of course, none other but Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, looking swole and big in this movie. This is another movie that you really can't sleep on. You can't. This movie is quite interesting, right? This movie is a movie that I recommend, right? If you watch it now, we all saw the critics. You know, Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 39%. IMDb gave it a 6.6 out of 10. So that means Sonic Prime beat Black Adam. But this, okay. I think this is a great lineup for the change of DC, right? We all know about James Gunn, and he's been co-CEO of DC Comics and DC Films. They're changing a lot, right? They're working on it as we speak. They're having meetings every hour on the hour about the change of DC, right? Because DC, they want to compete with, they want to compete. So I'm not knocking them about wanting to compete with Marvel. I like it. Competition runs business, in my opinion. I love competition. So Dwayne The Rock Johnson, he's playing Black Adam, of course, his production company. And I remember watching one of The Rock's videos, and he did not a documentary, but like a info video about Seven Bucks Productions. Now, he's in every interview he said, yeah, my production company, I've started with back then when I was a kid, I started with nothing, with $7 in my pocket. I was broke. And then that was his story, right? So Seven Bucks Production is Dwayne The Rock Johnson's production company, and they were the key runners for Black Adam, of course. So that means you have The Rock and his ex-wife and good friend Danny Garcia, full-headed in this movie. Producer, director, not director, but kind of. I mean, producers. Hey, they're the big bosses because those are the money people. But producer, executive producer, lead actor in this movie. So the Rock, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, he has a lot of choices and a lot of direction or a lot of command when it came down to this forming of this movie. Of course, in the ancient Kondag, of course, Ted Adam, of course, Black Adam, was bestowed the almighty power of the gods. After using these powers for vengeance, he was imprisoned, becoming Black Adam. Nearly 5,000 years have passed, and the Black Adam has gone from the man of the myth to the legend, now free with his unique form of justice, born of rage, of course. So that's the synopsis of this movie. You know, he doesn't really know where he's in Kondak, but this is 5,000 years later. So it's obviously it's completely different. And of course, things are a little bit different. Of course, we did get to see Sarah Shahid play, and I'm blanking on his name here. Isis. Again, these names. Of course, we had Noah, and these names I'm gonna butcher. He's playing Adam Smasher. Quintessa Swindle plays Cyclone. Pierce Brosnan played Dr. Fate. He was actually one of my favorite characters in this movie. But my favorite character was Hawkman, played by Aldous Hodge. Aldous Hodge has been in a lot of great stuff. So it's only fitting that he comes into the superhero light and he plays the hero alongside with Black Adam. Hawkman plays another great form of hero. One thing that I didn't know, and I read comics. I'm more of a Marvel comic reader than a DC. I genuinely enjoy DC though. I did not know Hawkman was extremely rich. So that was a complete shock to me. Maybe it's been in the comics and I just missed it. I knew of Hawkman, but I just didn't know he was very, very wealthy, because there's this one scene, spoiler alert, kind of. There's this one scene where they pan to an estate, Hawkman's estate, and all his toys and his gadgets and his jet, his house. I'm like, dang, I did not know my man was this rich. Like, that was very powerful. He plays a great hero. He's very strong in this movie too, so that's always good to see for sure. Of course, we've had Alice Waller, played by Viola Davis. Of course, Alice Waller does this. Of course, she's like the I don't want to say Warren Monica, but like she's like the head boss, and she's been in a lot of the Suicide movies, right? So she's kind of the director of the Suicide Squad. So it's only fitting that she's in there. We did get to see Henry Cavill to play Superman. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the movie. I'm so sorry, but I mean, I got to review this. But Superman comes at the end credits for the movie Black Adam. I'm very interested to see how that's going to go, because we did read headlines that Henry Cavill will not be doing Superman anymore. So maybe he's going to change his mind. I don't know, right? I don't know what Henry Cavill's got going on, because he vacated his role as one of the characters, the lead character for Witcher. I don't know what's going on with Henry Cavill, but I think he should continue to play Superman, honestly. I really do, because now you open up, excuse me, I said Alice Waller, Amanda Waller. My bad, guys. I'm sorry. But anyway, Henry Cavill should continue to play Superman, because now you got Dwayne Johnson in your pocket, right? Dwayne Johnson ain't just some actor, right? He is an A-list actor. He's made millions. He's up there. You can't compare, So if it was me, I would negotiate a deal to stay on as Superman, because obviously we're going to get Black Adam 2 and 3 maybe. we're going to get a new Justice League movie. We're possibly, maybe might see another Superman movie. Who knows? But honestly, you should have, maybe you should have stayed your role, but I don't know. Maybe it's negotiations. It's a lot of things. Of course, Amon Thomas Bahi Shabangu. Ooh, I hope I pronounced that name right, because that is a fantastic name to butcher over. He's one of the lead stars. Of course, he's the kid, and Black Adam comes into the story kind of like a father figure, if you will, just a little bit, and he cares for the kid, right? This impersonable kid. He sees this guy with superpowers. He's a teenager, so he has all these cool ideas and imaginations and whatnot. So it's a lot. It's a lot of things that goes on to this movie. A lot of twisters into this movie for sure. This is a movie that I wouldn't sleep on. I really wouldn't sleep on this one. Do I think it was a good movie, guys? Yes. I didn't see this in theaters personally, because I knew this might have been, and I'm a guy who reviews too. If the reviews ain't good, it's hard for me to justify and spend money, right? Because again, when you go to theaters, you got to spend money. And then at the time I was torn, because this movie came out on October 21st, and then that next week or 2 weeks after that, Black Panther came out. So I had to make a choice. Okay, which one am I going to see? Of course, obviously, I went to go see a Black Panther, the Black Panther movie, because I am more huge in Marvel than I am in DC. I like both, right? I'm not going to sit here on the podcast and say which one do I like the most. I like both. I really do. I enjoy both. I enjoy what both different stories they have. This is going to go far. I think this is a first test to the new line of DC films, with James Gunn and friends being co-CEOs of DC films, and they're changing some things. Yes, this is the first step, right? But as you get older and as you continue to go into the role, and as you continue to watch the DC movies, I do want to see them go further. I do want to see them in great competition with Marvel. Now, right now, they're not. I'm sorry, DC. I love y'all, but Warner Bros. Y'all almost there, but you ain't there yet with Marvel yet. Not quite. But congratulations, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I mean, they still make millions off this movie. The credits wasn't that good, but it's okay. Like, it's a movie that I watched at home, right? To go see this movie in theaters. A lot of people, when you announce a film out for a platform or streaming platform, why go still see it? They still have tickets. I'm seeing it right now. They still have showtimes for theaters. There's no point. I can just see it for free in my house. But besides the point, Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Black Adam, it's an okay movie, right? It's watchable. I enjoyed it. I had some laughs. I had some old crap moments. The fighting mechanics was good. I honestly thought the CGI was good. A lot of people were hating on the CGI effects. I think that's really, really good for the most part. You really get to see how strong Black Adam is, though. He's strong. And he's big. Because I follow The Rock on Instagram T. Because actually, The Rock is my motivation of how I've started working out, started getting these gains a little bit. I'm really just trying to show you all my muscles. I'm sorry, I need to stop. But Dwayne Johnson is my motivation of lifting weights and looking good and feeling good. So when I see he's been training for this role, right? Black Adam, he has to be strong, right? So he had to work out a little bit more. He had to work out a little bit harder to get bigger, And I don't think he's on steroids. I know a lot of people right now are saying he's on steroids. Joe Rogan said, and I ain't trying to, Joe Rogan, hit podcaster, but I don't think the man's on steroids. I think he's just working out, in my opinion. But besides the point, Black Adam, guys, again, go see the movie on HBO Max right now. It's fantastic. Moving on to our next to the last segment here, we've got Addison Hayden up in the studio to give us our hip hop news. And I heard that we had something to talk about. Bow Wow and Jermaine Dupri. Take it away, Addison.
Bow Wow has disputed Jermaine Dupri's recent claim that he created 106 & Park as a vehicle for his so-definite Cini and protege to counter MTV's TIL. During his interview with the Goats and Underdogs podcast last week, JD explained that he presented the idea of a youth-oriented video countdown show to BET's then president of programming, Stephen G. Hill. The Atlanta mogul felt like black artists, namely Bow Wow, were not getting the same love from TIL as some of their pop counterparts. 106 & Park was created by me, Jermaine Dupri said. I created the show for Bow Wow. I was watching MTV, and MTV had TIL. And they were catering to NSYNC, and they were catering to Backstreet Boys and anything white that was coming out that was pop. They was allowing these kids to scream and holler at them. And I was like, yo, we don't have nothing for black people like that. Like, where's the black kids that love music? Why don't they have a show like that? He continued, so I called Stephen Hill and I said, yo, I got an artist, we need to make a show just like TIL. And he said, what's the artist? And I said Bow Wow. Everybody challenges what I'm saying. Mind you, they wasn't gonna put Bow Wow on TIL like that because he was a rapper. He was a black, little young boy rapping. But he also was 12 years old. Nobody on TV was 12 years old anywhere creating this type of pandemonium. After the clip began circulating over the weekend, Bow Wow took to Twitter on Sunday morning, December 17th, to refute JD's 106 & Park origin story. JD ain't create 106 & Park Stop the Cap, the show's former co-host wrote. Stephen Hill, Rick Grimes and all the great people in the BET office and staff created that show. All I did was capitalize off of what they created and made it mine. I would know. I am Mr. 106. I would never take away from someone's creativity. Originally hosted by A. J. Calloway and Marie Free Wright, 106 & Park premiered on BET on September 11, 2000, 2 weeks before the release of Bow Wow's debut album Beware the Dog. Earlier that summer, the tween artist appeared on TIL with Jermaine Dupri to perform the album's lead single, Bounce With Me. Bow Wow would go on to make at least one more appearance on TIL in support of his 2006 platinum-selling single, Shorty Like Mine, featuring Chris Brown and John Austin. Following Bow Wow's Twitter tirade, D.A. Brat, another former So Definite rapper, hit back at Bow Wow for his takedown of Jermaine Dupri. Man, WTF. I really don't have the time or patience for this shit, but I got both today, D.A. Brat, who put out 4 albums under JD's iconic Atlanta imprint, said on Instagram. Bo, what I can't let you do is discredit my big brother JD, who you called your dad for so many years, cause that is pretty much the role you gave him, and instead of saying hell no, he rocked W it. She continued, you are being so rude and disrespectful to the person who believed in you, nurtured you, made you a complete star, wrote all your hits, accepted the challenge when Snoop brought you to him. He has never done anything to you but help. I ain't finna let you drag the most non-confrontational person who loved, cared for you and spoiled yo ass for years. He isn't and never would discredit Bet XX. He discussed creating 106 before it was created so black people could have their own TIL. No cap. If this is what you wanna do, let's fucking go. Pull up lil NGGA with yo disrespectful ass. So ungrateful. Bow Wow has seemingly been at odds with Jermaine Dupri for a number of years. The topic of their relationship came up several times while the growing-up hip-hop star fielded fan questions back in March. When someone asked, if you could go back and change anything from the past, what would it be? Bow Wow replied, stay W Snoop. And never signed W nobody else. He went on to tweet things such as, I just wished I stayed W Snoop, and admitted he and Jermaine Dupri have no work chemistry. He added, I ain't worked with that boy in years. He do him and I do me. Before closing out the Ask Me Anything session, Bow Wow explained that he and JD are not in fact beefing, adding, if you really a fan you'll know our relationship is not the most perfect one.
Wow. Thank you, Addison, on that report for sure. It's getting out there, guys. It's The stories are getting out there. A lot of things are happening from people who are from Atlanta, right? I do say to a lot of people, please stay safe. There's a lot of shootings happening in Atlanta, which is quite frightening. I actually talked to my brother today, and we're going out this next coming weekend, and we were debating on where we're going to go, and say, yeah, we're not going to a lot of crazy spots because people are getting shot out here in Atlanta. So I don't want to say it's dangerous like Chicago, because Chicago got it bad up there right now. But guys, if you're out, especially this holiday season, please be very, very, very careful, because things are happening to folks, and it's scaring me. It's scaring me a whole lot. It really is. So coming up next, we got Arthur Brooks in the building to talk about our sports news. Arthur, what we got, man?
Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns rolled over a Ravens offense that couldn't do much outside of handing the ball off to J.K. Dobbins. The Browns picked up a 13-3 win, a victory that keeps their playoff hopes alive. The Browns held a 6-3 lead at halftime after 3 combined field goals in the first 30 minutes. Watson found Donovan Peoples-Jones for a 3-yard touchdown late in the third to put them up by 10. It was the game's lone touchdown. The Browns missed a pair of field goals the rest of the way as snow started coming down hard, but it didn't matter. They shut the Ravens down to close out the fourth quarter and take the 10-point win. The Ravens offense struggled again without Jackson, who is dealing with a PCL sprain in his left knee. He is expected back before the end of the regular season, which, if Saturday was any indication, is something the Ravens desperately need after finishing their first game without a touchdown since 2018. They barely escaped the struggling Denver Broncos when Jackson first went down, and last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers with backup Tyler Huntley. Huntley went 17 of 30 for 138 yards on Saturday. He threw an interception after reaching the red zone in the third quarter. Baltimore's only points came from a 53-yard Justin Tucker field goal in the first half. They could have had more, but Tucker missed one just before halftime and then had one block to start the fourth. The only Ravens' bright side was Dobbins, who had 125 rushing yards on 13 carries. That isn't enough to sustainably win games. Jackson is in the final year of his rookie deal with the Ravens, and has yet to reach an extension with the franchise. He reportedly turned down a deal worth about $250 million before the season, opting to bet on himself in his contract year. If a deal isn't reached this coming off-season, the Ravens can use a franchise tag on him to keep him in Baltimore next fall. The former MVP, for better or for worse, is the key to the Ravens' offense. Without him around, the Browns took full advantage in what was their third win in 4 games.
Fantastic sports news, man. Appreciate it. I appreciate everybody that's here today for the podcast. You guys, y'all help make the podcast very, very special. I love y'all for it. Thank you so very much. So that's going to wrap it up here on our podcast here today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this spectacular show. Comment below, what do you think? Are you going to go see Black Adam on HBO Max, or will you be seeing Sonic Prime on Netflix right now? Sonic Prime, y'all don't sleep on that one. That's a good one. So that's going to wrap it up here on our show. We're going to be coming back this week, but of course, this next coming weekend, we're going to go ahead and announce it. This next coming weekend, yes, we're going to be closed. Obviously, it's Christmas Eve, so we are not going to be working on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and possibly the day after Christmas. So that's normal to a lot of people. A lot of people are shutting down, so we're going to be shutting down this next weekend as well when it comes to media stuff. So stay tuned earlier this week so you guys don't miss this week's media content before we log off for the holiday season. So that's going to wrap it up here. The K.L.P. Aftermath, Season 4 with your host, K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas. As always, I like to say, please stay safe. People are getting dangerous out here. Stay swanky. Peace.
Aftermath.
We shut it down the studio.
You're rocking with the best.
Oh, this is Ludacris.
What's going on? This is Drake.
It's Tiger Young Money Zone.
It's your boy Wiz Khalifa, man.
This is Big Sean.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is Kanye West.
It's Jay-Z. Yo, this is your boy Weezy.
With your host, Kennedy Lucas. On Swanky 93.3 radio station. The Heat 94.6 radio station.